Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bronze League Heroes. And this time, it's a special episode because this episode is no longer Bronze League in Hero League, but rather it is 5-man team league in Bronze League. So this is going to be a team league game with 5-man pre-made teams, and I'm excited to see what it can bring to the table as we see on the blue team, Lunara, Jaina, Stukov, Leoric, and Artanis. Already we see the blue teams opting for a very interesting strategy of having Leoric and Artanis. For your pro tip of the day, Leoric is unfortunately not a tank, nor is Artanis, so there's a problem with the draft here. But on the red team, we see Diablo, Alexstrasza, Stitches, Killfast, and Zojin. Now the red team suffers from the exact same problem as the blue team, albeit in a different slate problem, but Alexstrasza gets swapped by Artanis and instantly gets taken down by Lunara. And I was saying, the red team has 2 tanks in the form of Diablo and Stitches, which is not optimal, as Stitches does not really go very well with Diablo in this sort of draft. Maybe a Putrid Bile Stitches would be good, but otherwise you should never pick Diablo and Stitches together in a team composition. But the Stitches managed to land a hook onto Artanis, and Artanis does a beautiful swap on the Zojin. I mean, Artanis must be a very practiced player with Artanis, throwing out those swaps like he's done it 100 times before. And already we see Diablo solo lane. Unfortunately, Diablo should never be used as a solo laner, as Diablo can usually not set up kills by himself. But Leoric venturing a little bit too far forward right there, and Diablo's Shadow Charge and his Overpower do manage to get severe damage dealt onto Leoric simply because of those tower shots. And back into bottom lane, do we see Artanis trying to land one of his absolute master swaps again? Maybe that'll be the case, maybe it won't be. But what we do see is, in fact, just very safe play by the blue team. But I mean, Leoric, he's a little bit venturing far too forward. If Diablo just simply flipped him over again, I think that Leoric would have been taken down. But Diablo going for that talent. Let us have a look at the talents today, ladies and gentlemen. And indeed, Diablo is going for the Soul Shield. Definitely not the best talent for Diablo at that talent tier, but unfortunately I did miss out a bit of the action. I think that Artanis did manage to get another swap on the Killfast again, and Killfast going for that wonderful convection talent, which allows him to deal more damage with Flame Strike, provided he doesn't die. But Killfast, he's just died, and he needs time to stack up that Flame Strike quest gain. Artanis going for the amateur opponent. This will allow him to deal extra damage to the Immortals, which is the main objective on this map, as Zojin comes on in for a gank. But Zojin, he's not a very gank-centric hero. I mean, what can Zojin do? The only thing Zojin can do is just throw out his axes. But Diablo ventures forward, and Leoric might get taken down, or is Leoric a little bit too tanky for that? Unfortunately, Leoric was a little bit too tanky for that, and the Diablo solo lane continues, as Diablo's Soul Shield is really not getting a lot of value. I mean, Soul Shield is best picked against very heavy burst composition teams, but unfortunately with only Jaina and Lunara, I don't think Soul Shield will gain that much value. In fact, what Soul Shield does do is allow Diablo to gain a lot of spell armor, but Devil's Steel is definitely the much better talent to get at this tier, as the red team decide to take that Bruiser Camp, and they are venturing forward into the objective, and Leoric ventures forward into the realms, and Diablo at the same time is isolating Jaina from the rest of her team, as Leoric does get stunned by the mortal. Will this take down Leoric? Leoric still not dying. Oh my god, Leoric does die finally to Killfast's Flame Strike and the Living Bomb, and Artanis Blade Dash unfortunately does not allow him to escape easily, which is one of the more interesting parts of playing Artanis, as Blade Dash is never used as an escape. It can't be used as an escape, unfortunately. Artanis can only go in, he can't go out with his Blade Dash. I think that Artanis will become quite overpowered if his Blade Dash allow him to dash out of a combat situation. That will make him one of the bruisers with the most amount of mobility, I think. Even Blaze can't really do that sort of thing. Well, Blaze does have a dash out, but Artanis is infinitely more damage, and the beautiful swap onto Killfast, isolating him from the rest of his team. But Killfast, again, is not getting value out of that convection talent if he's going to die again. Will Stukov's massive punches manage to take him out? Artanis, I think, is on the chase, but Killfast surviving with just that sliver of HP. I don't think convection was correct talent to choose at this point, as Stitches gets taken down by Jaina. And Leoric is Wraith walking forward in order to grab and drain hope from that Diablo's soul. And Alexstrasza and Killfast very low on health, very low on mana. What are they doing here? What are they doing here? Why are they in such a bad spot? I mean, Killfast, he's going to lose off his convection stacks again. I just feel bad for Killfast. He's never going to finish his quest in the whole game, I think. Actually, let's place a bet. Who thinks that Killfast will actually manage to finish his convection quest before the end of the game? I'm betting £100 that he does not finish his quest. Which is, unless of course the blue team does, the blue team decide not to focus him, but I doubt that's going to be the case, as Zul'jin, with his massive single target DPS at low health, is just going to chunk down that Immortal really quickly. But the blue team decide not to push with the Immortal, instead they choose to push the bottom fort. And right now, Alexstrasza is all by herself. Artanis did not manage to land that swap. I mean, if Artanis did manage to land that swap, that would be an utter dead Alexstrasza. And Burn Flesh coming up from Killfast. Burn Flesh. Going for that full Flame Strike build. But I'm starting to wondering if Killfast had actually chosen the mana added talent instead, he would be so much safer and he would be so more resilient to burst. As is the case with the blue team, since they don't have a main tank, but Artanis has been actually engaging for his team very well as he lands another beautiful Phase Prism, which is sort of an engage, I guess. I mean, Artanis is doing a fantastic job at picking off the members of the red team. I've got to give credit to this Artanis. He must be at least level 50 Artanis or something. As Leoric venturing a little bit too far forward, and Artanis Blade dashes forward, but Stitches does manage to land a hook, and another swap onto Diablo does manage to take him out, but Artanis does pay with his life in the end, and Leoric getting that trait value again, dying once again. And let us have a look at the number of deaths so far. And right now, number of deaths for Leoric and Artanis are both 2. Not a lot, I must say, not a lot, but it could be better. There are many engages that could have been avoided, as Leoric is going for the skeletal swing build, and Artanis going for that full immortal DPS build, whilst Jaina is just going for the standard chill target, returning mana, lingering chill, and ice lance, which will allow Jaina to poke from afar and slow the opponents very well. As the red team do have Diablo and Stitches, so obviously a good amount of self peel is needed in order to get Diablo off you, or just to stop Diablo from killing you, from his team from following up, so you need that extra slow. And Lunara's going for Nature's Culling, which again is a DPS build against the Immortals. So, I mean, at this point, the blue team is definitely going to win all the Immortal races. I mean, look at Lunara and Artanis. They're just going to destroy the Immortal really quickly. And Diablo's looking for a fight pre-10, which is a good idea, as he flips and stuns Leoric, actually. But Alexstrasza, getting a little bit of value out for Abundance Healing. Stukov Silence does manage to finish off Diablo with Artanis' Blade Dash, and Leoric gets taken down once again. The problem with the red team is that I think they have a little bit too little follow-up. I mean, there goes Stukov, hooked by Stitches, but where's the follow-up? Stitches is really not a very good fit to all of this, and Artanis does manage to swap Stitches out, which is another use of this swap, but unfortunately the Flame Strike does manage to finish off Artanis, as Jaina trying to finish off Stitches. Very low on health. Alexstrasza, what are you doing? Alexstrasza, why are you going forward? You could have just saved yourself. Oh my goodness. And Leoric once again venturing deep into the enemy territory, stunned by Diablo, and Diablo is in fact going for that full Shadow Charge build, which will allow him to deal a massive amount of burst damage to a single target when he stuns them against a wall, which are plenty of walls. There are plenty of walls in the Battlefield of Eternity, especially with these narrow choke points here, and especially in the Immortal phase, where people will just wander around the little smoke vents here, and you can just simply charge in and stun everybody as Diablo. And the blue team's Immortal, with full shields, is going to start attacking the red team's fort. Will Artanis land another godlike swap? Holy Jesus! Artanis' swaps have been on point this game. And Lunara's Sleeping Strike does not manage to finish off Alexstrasza, as Alexstrasza activates a Cleansing Flame, flying into the skies and dropping fireballs. Unfortunately, Leoric venturing a little bit too far forward once again, and gets taken down by Kael'thas's Flame Strike. And Artanis decides to commit seppuku. Or commit suicide in Japanese, I guess. Honorable suicide. By blade dashing in. I mean, technically, if Artanis blade dashed through all of those heroes and his shield proc again, maybe he would have survived that. But right now, I think the blue team is still in a very good position, as the Immortal has taken down the keep wall of the red team and is looking to attack the healing fountain already. Just a few more swipes and the healing fountain will be gone. And Stukov does manage to complete his vigorous reuptake, which will massively increase Stukov's AoE burst healing by a ton. Unfortunately, Kael'thas is once again at 0 out of 20 convection stacks. I doubt he'll be ever able to complete that quest, as Leoric once again Wraith walks out without any consequences whatsoever. Blue team are going to look to take a camp, and with Lunara and Artanis having those increased damage against non-heroes, they're going to take camps and kill the Immortal very quickly. Let's have a look at Artanis doing Mercenary Camp. I mean, look at Twin Blades. It's just one-shotting one of these Impalers. And Stitches gonna try cleaning up. Let's see what build Stitches went for. Stitches went for the full tank Stitches build, which, I mean, with the amplified healing, Alexstrasza's gonna be giving massive heals to Stitches. And Zul'jin is again doing that tons of damage from the backline, and Stukov is a little bit too forward, and he managed to push away Diablo, but that delay on the whatever it's called, the massive shove, does make him die to the rest of the red team, putting him in a little bit of a bad spot there, but isolating Diablo. Massive shove, ideally not a very good heroic of choice on the Battlefield of Eternity, which is not a tip of mine, because Battlefield of Eternity, many walls here. I mean, the only massive shove value that you're going to get is just going to be pushing the enemies a little bit behind. Like, it's not great value. So the other Stukov heroic, the flailing swipe, is much better in this scenario, especially against Diablo and Stitches. You can just simply flailing swipe and get rid of them if they're in your face. Whereas massive shove, what are you gonna do in a team fight? Like in these areas, all you're gonna do is just push them back, like just by a little bit. So I definitely do not recommend massive shove on the Battlefield of Eternity for Stukov. And Stitches again, Artanis lands hook on Stitches again, and Stitches activates his Putrid Bile, trying to buy his team a little bit of time, but Leoric activating his March of the Black King, getting off that damage and that healing for himself. As Stukov is caught in a little bit of, and he walks right into that Immortal stun, which could have been avoided had his reaction times been a little bit faster, and Alexstrasza's going to get off those massive heals once again. Alexstrasza going for that flame build, which is ideally not one of the best builds for Alexstrasza, because there's Diablo and Stitches on her team, and going for the W build on Alexstrasza for this particular composition will give her a lot more healing and a lot more mobility with that movement speed burst that you get from completing the W quest, I think. And Kael'thas once again at 6 stacks of convection. We're just counting down the moments until Kael'thas dies again and he loses all his stacks. And Leoric marching forward with his Wraith Walk, and actually Janus Water Elemental is going to put Alexstrasza in a bit of trouble, as Leoric activates his March of the Black King, and they do manage to fight quite well in that little choke point, and Lunara is stunned for a little bit, but she escaped with a Leaping Strike, as Leoric is trying to duel a Zul'jin, but I think that Zul'jin is possibly a little bit too resilient when he's unkillable, especially. To be honest, I don't really like Zul'jin's unkillable status. It's sort of, I mean, it's just sort of protected by the way at low health, but then it's not particularly fun heroic to use. But it's good when you have the right team comp and you don't get bursted down so quickly that you can't activate your Taz Dingo. Artanis is actually on the other side of the map. He actually finishes the Immortal for his team, but Kael'thas, he's on the chase, but Kael'thas once again has run out of mana, and if Kael'thas had actually got a mana addict, he would actually not be having halfback for mana so often. But who am I to complain? Both teams are at level 16 right now, and level 16 talent here does mark a little bit of a interesting power spike for Leoric as he decides to march on the Black King for absolutely no reason, as only Artanis and Leoric are actually here. And Alexstrasza's Cleansing Flame is going to take down Leoric as Leoric just wanders forward like a true skeleton king with no awareness of what's happening around him, and as he's just a skeleton. And again, that trait value, very good trait value. Leoric getting taken down once again. Ooh, and Alexstrasza slowed by the skeletal swing from the Leoric Wraith form, and Artanis is going to finish off Alexstrasza in fact. But will this Immortal actually be enough to end the game? I don't think so, as Kael'thas is actually looking to finish off Artanis. Artanis wanting to Blade Dash there, but unfortunately even the Blade Dash will not be able to save him, as Leoric continues his March of the Black King again. I mean, March of the Black King is on an incredibly short cooldown of 50 seconds, so Leoric actually chose, well, I mean, Entomb is actually usually the heroic of choice, but against a Diablo and a Stitches, I mean, March of the Black King is just gonna get a ton of value. I mean, if you're surrounded by Stitches and Diablo and you're low on health, you can simply March of the Black King, you're unstoppable and you can heal for a lot. It's quite a good heroic in this instance, but Entomb is usually better. And plus you can always combo Entomb with the Stukov Silence, and Diablo gets another pick off onto Leoric. The blue team being a little bit too out of position here. What I'd say, Leoric not being the best map aware player. I mean, what exactly can you achieve by staying here for an extended period of time, where you should have gone and done a mercenary camp, you could have gone group up with your team, but instead he chooses to marches forward and gets taken down again. But Leoric is going for that meme build of Mithril Mace, so he's going to be doing a lot of auto attack damage, that's for sure. He's going to be swinging his mace with an increased 20% attack speed at base and even more attack speed when he gets takedowns. And Leoric casting that Drain Hope and Skeletal Swing onto Stitches. I mean, Leoric is supposed to murder like double tank compositions, but this Leoric has just been not really been that too map aware. And he needs to do a little bit more than just simply walking forward and dying, as Zul'jin is going to clean up the siege camp at the bottom lane, and the top lane the brawl is still going on. I mean, right now the blue team could take a fight as Zul'jin is in the bottom lane, and indeed Artanis does manage to land a swap and Stitches, but unfortunately that doesn't really do anything. I mean, right now there are 5 members of the blue team on the top lane, and Zul'jin's coming in right now, and Jaina, why was Jaina there? I presume she was flipped in by Diablo, and then Leoric is trying to do a little bit of Leoric things, and he does manage to finish off Diablo. I mean, but Zul'jin's gonna go unkillable. Is Zul'jin going to manage to take down Leoric before he dies? Unfortunately not. And Leoric does complete his Mithril Mace quest. Leoric value, by the way, Leoric value. Right now, Stitches is at 11 stacks of Savor the Flavor, so I'm not sure how much extra health regeneration Stitches has, but it's quite a lot, I guess. As Leoric again, not going to kill the Immortal, but instead he's trying to go into the red team's base and trying to achieve absolutely nothing. I'm not sure what you were doing there, Leoric. And Artanis Twin Blades with the Lunara's talent is going to finish off the Immortal to half health pretty quickly, as the red team is going to regroup, and the blue team are going to hit level 20 in just about a couple of seconds, I guess. And with that level 20 talent here, I think that the blue team might have just won this game. I mean, even with the low pick of Artanis and Leoric, the blue team are actually working pretty well together. So is the red team, of course, except for that Kael'thas. What did I say? Kael'thas, 4 stacks of infection again? Alas, alas. And then Jaina and the rest of the team are going to group up into the bottom, and I'm not confident in Jaina venturing this far forward as Leoric goes in for no reason and March of the Black Kings into the enemy keep and gets taken down again. Leoric, what are you doing? And right now the red team has level 20 as well, and Diablo's Apocalypse is going to stun members of the blue team, but Jaina does manage to take down Diablo, and Diablo does not have 100 souls, and Stitches I think is going to die to Lunara indeed. And the only members of the red team left are Alexstrasza and Killfast, and I don't think that they can defeat 5 members of the blue team. And Alexstrasza, does she have a dragon form? Does she have a... She does have a cleansing flame, but she's choosing not to use it, and in fact the blue team is going to take down the core, and Nara leaping strike right there. But anyway, the blue team do manage to take the victory. And of course, Killfast didn't complete his convection talent. What did I say? And Jaina gets MVP. Perfect. Just as the gods expected. I mean, Jaina she did move a little bit too far forward at some points in the game, but I think the MVP here really was Leoric getting that trait value. Let's have a look at the end game stats indeed. Oh, Leoric at 10 deaths and 109,000 damage taken with a massive 70,000 hero damage, which is comparable to Killfast even with his incomplete convection talent. 13 stacks. Well played, Killfast, well played, and I think that was quite an exciting game to cast. This is Leoric trait value indeed, with the March of the Black King. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching, and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed these videos, please make sure to like them and subscribe to my channel, where I will be posting more Bronze League Hero episodes. And of course, if you would like to submit a replay, please do send them in to sir.lightofvoid@gmail.com. I'll put a link to my email address in the description box below. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Bye bye.